Hello, beautiful people. Today I want to talk about Enhypen and their whole fat shaming Sunwoo incident, which blew up recently. I have a lot of Korean friends, so I thought I can help shed the truth. I also want to share my thoughts on Enhypen are being toxic or they're just teasing Sunwoo, and where fans are victimizing Sunwoo. So without further ado, let's begin. Fat shaming is shaming someone for being overweight or not looking skinny, and it ties to body shaming where you degrade someone for their size, which is problematic. I've been fat shamed before, and it's really hurtful and dehumanizing. You honestly feel like a laughing stock. Before people say being overweight is unhealthy, yes, it is, but we're not saying they're healthy. We're saying that overweight people deserve the same amount of respect as thin people do. I heard stories of people losing weight and noticing that people started to respect them way more. It just shows you how mistreated overweight people are. And just because you don't look skinny or you have a fat like appearance, that doesn't mean you're overweight. Some people have a naturally thicker body shape due to their bone structure, which is perfectly healthy. Someone who doesn't look overweight, he just has fuller cheeks. Some people have a lot of cheek flesh even when they're at their lowest weight. It's just really due to their body structure, and that's perfectly healthy. So it's an issue that perfectly healthy people are being shamed for not looking conventionally attractive. Initially, I brushed off last year's scandal as some accusations were taken out of context. Like, for example, there was a video of Enhypen teasing Sang-woo on how much he eats, such as knowing tteokbokki and always being in the cafeteria. But it was later revealed that he was playing a food expert for a skit, so Enhypen were just playing along. Nikki and Sang-woo played a game where you must embarrass your opponent, and Nikki asked him if he gained weight. Nikki also says Sang-woo looks like Baymax, who's known to be big, and Sang-woo looked pretty upset. Nikki comments were wrong, but you know he was 15 at the time. You're still learning at the age, so I thought, okay, I'll just let him grow out of it. Last year we had two incidents. I have asked my Korean speaking friends to clarify the translation as well what are just some cultural nuance we should be aware of.
네. 그리고요 이 친구는요 제가 5분 전에 사귄 새로운 친구인데 이름이 블럭이에요. 네, 행운을 빈다는 친구고요.
되게 체형이 비슷하네요.
네?
되게
무슨 소리예요?
체형이 비슷해가지고 공통점이 많아요.
너무 귀엽지 않나요? 발도 있네. 너 찍어야지. 내가 너를 포기할 수 있나?
피 너무 많이 차지하는데.
뚱뚱해. 누가 먹다. 너무 많아.
몸무게가 가장 많이 나갈 때는 설들 때.
항상 맨날 제가 송은이 형 한번 치면은 멧돼지가 막 멧돼지가 미쳐가지고 무조건 맨날 올라간다고 맨날 그러고 아우 진짜
그 코끼리가 너무 웃겨서 진짜.
맞아.
그 감독님이 성우씨 이제 끌게요 했는데 안 돼요. 코끼리 앉아있어 지금.
안 돼.
say that before the boar/elephant comment, they were talking about how Sungwoo has naturally broad shoulders like a football player. So the whole Sunghoon acts like a boar hit him and he's gonna fly away meant that Sungwoo is really strong. That is a fair analysis only if the boar comment was the only thing that was said. But the elephant and Nikki's comments was fast shaming since it's referencing his weight. So this live wasn't taken out of context. Now, I'm not hurt by those comments, nor am I offended. I just find them disturbing because it's like, why are you so fixated on Sungwoo's weight to the point you're always bringing it up? It seems like Sungwoo cannot breathe around them. Like, what did he do? Did he like steal their kimchi? Like, I'm just really weirded out because it makes me feel like they only value people for having a thin like appearance. Because as I mentioned, Sungwoo isn't overweight. He just has fuller cheeks, yet they're always so hard on him. It kind of makes you think like, how would they react to a thicker or overweight person? Like, would they look down on Beyonce? So when I first saw this clip, I noticed that it was Sungwoo who started this joke and he was laughing too. So if Sungwoo is making fun of himself, that implies that he's comfortable with these jokes. So as fans, we shouldn't speak over him. But I also worry if this self-deprecation is a result of internalizing Fatphobia. I was overweight growing up, but I wasn't confident standing up to my classmates' jokes. But at the same time, I wanted to feel included, so I started making fatphobic jokes about myself to appease my classmates. So maybe Sunwoo is doing something similar. He's also part of the Maknae line, so maybe he's not comfortable to stand up to his hunks due to Korea's age society, age culture. Sunwoo is quite young, so he may think that, hey, if my members are always making these jokes, they can't be hurtful, right? Maybe I'm just overreacting. So he's not recognizing the weight of those jokes. And by the way, that was not an intentional pun. Now, before people are like, what do you mean? Like, someone was 19, that's an adult age. Guys, I'm 22, and when I looked back at when I was 19, I was pretty clueless about boundaries, assertive communication, etc. I even remember my university friends would be in so many toxic relationships, not realizing that the other person was being toxic to them because at the time they didn't really have much self-respect. So with Sungwoo, he's probably not realizing how harmful those words are. Now, I keep on seeing tweets like we shouldn't assume their relationship, and Sungwoo is a grown man. If he's bothered by those jokes, he can stand up for himself. We need to stop paying him as a victim. And I get this perspective. I think about EXO's Kai and Vic's N, whose bandmate would always make fun of their skin color. And even though it's important to acknowledge colorism, I felt because fans kept on emphasizing on Kai and N being a victim more than Vic's and EXO being colorist, Kai and N started being known as a poor victim rather than their talents. Plus, victimizing them also strips them off of their ally identity because, yeah, they can stand up for themselves. But the issue I have with this perspective is that it erases the whole fat shaming thing. Like, yeah, we can say someone can tell him off, but we can still acknowledge what Enhypen is doing is wrong. For example, my mom makes colors jokes about my dad. Even though my dad finds them funny, it doesn't negate the fact that my mom's mindset is wrong, that colorism is problematic. Same thing. Enhypen needs to know that body shaming is wrong. Instead, we need to reframe how we comment on the situation. Instead of focusing on Sungwoo, let's pivot the focus onto Enhypen. Instead of saying, OMG, like, Sungwoo, all he does is get fat shamed, poor guy. Instead, say, yo, Enhypen needs to stop making fat shaming jokes. It's gross and it's disrespectful. People are more than their size and those jokes are really hurtful. So basically, remove Sungwoo and just emphasize Enhypen more in your criticism. I think Enhypen's comments may be affecting Sungwoo. In their 500-day celebration Vlive, Sungwoo wasn't eating any cake and Nikki actually had to encourage him to take a slice, yet all he ate were the strawberries. Yes, cake is unhealthy, but it's also fine to eat unhealthy foods in moderation. It's a healthy practice. I'm getting this vibe that Sungwoo must be super weight conscious, which is why he was so hesitant. I know some people are like, wait, why did Nikki tell Sungwoo to eat even though he's constantly fat shaming him? Okay, so have you guys ever made a joke to your friends and then found out it really hurt them? And Hypen doesn't have any malicious intentions, as they do clearly dot on Sunghoon. They just don't realize that their jokes may impact Sunghoon's self-esteem. Enhypen must be careful because comments and size does affect their fans who may be struggling with weight and body image issues. Before people say like, why can't they just toughen up? Again, weight is a sensitive topic and people shouldn't be disrespected about their size. A lot of Enhypen fans are young and impressionable, so these jokes can really impact their self-worth. Finally, if you have fans out there who are supporting you for what you do, the basic bare minimum is to respect them back. One of my subscribers asked me to touch on how this is really a cultural issue. Unfortunately, in Asian culture, diet culture and body shaming is a really big problem. One of my friends is Chinese, and her mom would constantly pick on how fat her legs were, even though she's super toned and fit. Like in this Reddit post, the OP who is Filipino had their family wait to see which cousin was the skinniest. And we see this societal issue being reflected in the entertainment industry. Solian of AOA, her manager told her that her weight, which was 50 kilograms or 110 pounds, was too much and she needed to lose weight. And that really freaked me out because Solian is like 5'7". According to the BMI chart, weighing less than 120 pounds is unhealthy for her height. Yet her manager didn't even realize that. Whenever an idol goes on a dangerous diet, a lot of K-nets and TV hosts would praise them for being so hardworking. I saw K-nets insulting SNSD Yuri for her elephant ankles. Like, how obsessed are you about someone's body to the point you're fixating on such small things like someone's ankle size? Hence, we need to realize that Enhypen fashioning Sunwoo is because they live in this weight-obsessed culture. Of course, Enhypen needs to be held accountable, but we need to look at the issue at hand. This is not like a victim savior issue. This is more so Enhypen thinks fat-shaming jokes are fine because they're ingrained to value thin bodies. We could create a Korean message for them. We could confront them during a fan call. But I do recall when a fan tried educating Jake about offending Muslim fans, they got cut off midway. Honestly, Vlive gives me the impression they don't care about international fans' concerns. So the better solution is to boycott because it forces Vlive to actually listen and respond. Honestly, it's really up to you on what your decision is. All I want to say that if you want to support Enhypen, that's fine. Just please hold him accountable. Please share your thoughts in the comment below, but please be respectful because body image is a really sensitive topic. I love you all. Stay safe. Take care. Bye-bye.